in the going beyond the limiting, dividing and opposing mind, in ending the mental process as we know it. When this comes to an end, that mind is born. Give up all questions except one. Who am I? After all, the only fact you are sure of is that you are. The I am is certain. The I am this is not. Struggle to find out what you are in reality. The seeker is he who is in search of himself. To know what you are, you must first investigate and know what you are not. Discover all that you are not: body, feelings, thoughts, time, space, this or that, nothing, concrete or abstract, which you perceive can be you. The very act of perceiving shows that you are not what you perceive. The clearer you understand on the level of mind you can be described in negative terms only, the quicker will you come to the end of your search and realize that you are the limitless being. Before anything can come into being, there must be somebody to whom it comes. All appearance and disappearance presupposes a change against some changeless background. What is wrong with it seeking the pleasant and shrinking the unpleasant? Between the banks of pain and pleasure, the river of life flows. It is only when the mind refuses to flow with life and gets stuck at the banks that it becomes a problem. The blankness of deep sleep is due entirely to the lack of specific memories. But a general memory of well-being is there. There is a difference in feeling when we say, "I was deeply asleep," from "I was absent." Is it not important to you to know whether you are a mere body or something else? Or maybe nothing at all? Don't you see that all your problems are your body's problems? Food, clothing, shelter, family, friends, name, fame, security, survival. All these lose their meaning the moment you realize that you may not be a mere body. Desire is the memory of pleasure, and fear is the memory of pain. Both make the mind restless. Moments of pleasure are merely gaps in the stream of pain. How can the mind be happy? The very urge to achieve is also an expression of the total universe. It merely shows that the energy potential has risen at a particular point. It is the illusion of time that makes you talk of causality. When the past and the future are seen in the timeless now, as parts of a common pattern, the idea of cause-effect loses its validity, and creative freedom takes its place. How can an unsteady mind make itself steady? Of course, it cannot. It is the nature of the mind to roam about. All you can do is to shift the focus of consciousness beyond the mind. What was born must die. Only the unborn is deathless. Find what is it that never sleeps and never wakes, and whose pale reflection is our sense of I. Incidentally, practice of meditation affects deeply our character. We are slaves to what we do not know. Of what we know, we are masters. Whatever vice or weakness in ourselves, we discover and understand its cause and its workings. We overcome it by the very knowing. The unconscious dissolves when brought into the consciousness. The dissolution of the unconscious releases energy. The mind feels adequate and becomes quiet. Love is a state of being. Sex is energy. Love is wise. Sex is blind. Once the true nature of love and sex is understood, there will be no conflict or confusion. Sex is an acquired habit. Go beyond. As long as your focus is on the body, you will remain in the clutches of food and sex, fear and death. Find yourself and be free. To imagine that some little thing, food, sex, power, fame, will make you happy is to deceive yourself. Only something as vast and deep as your real self can make you truly and lastingly happy. I know nothing about miracles, and I wonder whether nature admits exceptions to her laws unless we agree that everything is a miracle. As to my mind, there is no such thing. There is consciousness in which everything happens. It is quite obvious and within the experience of everybody. You just do not look carefully enough. Look well and see what I see. As long as the mind is there, your body and your world are there. Your world is mind-made, subjective, enclosed within the mind, fragmentary, temporary, personal, hanging on the thread of memory. It is not your real being that is restless, but its reflection in the mind appears restless because the mind is restless. It is just like the reflection of the moon in the water stirred by the wind. The wind of desire stirs the mind, and the me, which is but a reflection of the self in the mind, appears changeful. But these ideas of movement, of restlessness, of pleasure and pain are all in the mind. The self stands beyond the mind, aware but unconcerned. I do not negate the world. I see it as appearing in consciousness, which is the totality of the known, in the immensity of the unknown.
Tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva tvameva sarvam mama dev